Hello, my name is Oswaldo and I'm here with Huanito Luksetic, patient, survivor, user and producer of medical cannabis oil. So we're here in Opatija in Croatia where he lives, and so we're going to ask him a little bit about the situation here in Croatia of the medical marijuana. So let's start by asking you, what are the laws regarding marijuana in Croatia?
But right now, according to the laws in Croatia, we as the patients we are still not allowed to use cannabis as our medicine. Still, I am the MS patient with multiple sclerosis. Actually, we have a cannabis commission that our government arranged more than a year ago, but that rule book or those articles, they're really exact, and so we are talking about the marinol, dronabinol, sativex, and so on, which myself as a patient I don't see as a right answer what is going to help me. But then at the other hand, which is really good to start with, we are allowed to use cannabis extract, which is produced in pharmacies. But right now we are not allowed, since we can't buy that extract in pharmacies, and it will be a big question which kind of quality it will be, since the maximum of THC during the 30 days is allowed up to 7.5 grams of THC during the 30 days, which myself as a patient is not a good enough quality in the extract. So, but for the beginning, maybe, and I hope it will help to somebody, one of the patients at least.
What about for recreational marijuana?
Unfortunately, no, that's not allowed either. Our Cannabis Commission didn't even talk about that. They didn't even talk about for us as patients that we can cultivate, that it's allowed, which is really important. The quality of the extract is the best if I, or myself or any other patient grows cannabis for their own purposes, because we get better and the exact quality that helps us. And especially there is a change over in between energies between the patient and the plant, which is really, really important.
How many people do you think cultivate cannabis in Croatia?
Well, at this point, there is hundreds of people cultivating for their own needs as patients, and that's really nice, because people realize that on this, I call it purple market, it's a really big problem with quality, and the prices are way too big and unaffordable for patients. But there is at least a couple hundred people that growing for their purposes in Croatia, especially in this region, Corner Bay.
How many people do you think use cannabis?
Oh, that's for sure. A few thousand people in Croatia, and the Balkans there is like over 20,000 people using cannabis as the extract. But
just only as extract, or recreational?
There's all kinds of uses. We have recreational, preventive, we can call it, or most of the time for patients with heart and heavy diagnosis with health problems like cancer or multiple sclerosis, diabetes, arthritis, HIV, epilepsy. So there is a huge range of patients that are using the hemp extract. Actually, in Croatia we say hemp, it's same as cannabis. Let's explain to our people that are listening to us. So hemp and cannabis in Croatia is the same, and we are talking about the uses. You can use it in industrial or medical use. So if you wanna say for industrial use, you can also make the hemp the extract from the hemp that's used for the industrial use, it just has more CBD and less THC, which is great for the patients with epilepsy or even some MS patients or PTSD patients and so on. So then on the other hand, we have this different type with indicas, like 100% indicas, which I realized that it's really good for the way we learned from Rick Simpson and the scientists, good for the cancer patients and most of the majority of the MS patients that I learned, of course, diabetes, arthritis, and so on.
So let's talk a little bit about your medical condition. How do you use what for do you use the oil?
So my
your personal case.
Sure. So my medical condition is multiple sclerosis. So in 2011, Rick Simpson came from Canada to have a lecture here in Opatija. I didn't know anything about hemp or cannabis. So I just listened to Rick for more than 4 hours, actually myself and a couple other friends, and we did exactly what Rick said is the best for a patient, and to get the best quality is to grow, and to make your own oil, the extract. So I was using it, as Rick said, orally, 3 times a day, doubling the dosage every 4 days till I got to optimal dosage of 1 gram. I even was consuming at one period 2 to 3 grams a day of the extract. It's really important for me. I made so much progress in my health condition. It's beautiful. I cannot talk enough.
So how was the process or what's the stages that you go when you start taking the oil?
So in the beginning, I didn't know what to think about because I only had 20 grams. The first year that I only had a few plants and only 20 grams of extract. So I was thinking what to do, and Rick said for the serious conditions, it's best to ingest as soon as possible to get up to 1 gram a day. So that's what I did. I ate those 20 grams in 22 or 23 days. So it's really characteristic for MS patients. That's what happened to me in the beginning. That when I started using it. We, as the MS patients, we feel like our symptoms get worse, but it's not. At the same time, we have detoxification and regeneration of the body on the whole level, physical and spiritual. And then after a certain or uncertain period, it just disappears. And the symptoms also disappear and everything regulates. Actually, our endocannabinoid system inside of us, it regulates. So there is no you don't feel any like you need to take it all the time, every day. I even tested that, But it's really important for MS patients to know that we feel worse, but it's not. It will go away because MS patients, our veins are narrowed, so it needs to be regenerated. So our circulation needs to be regenerated because the veins we are talking about, the jugular veins here in the neck, and azygos vein, they're narrowed. And then over the years, the dirty blood starts going through blood-brain barrier through, and that's where the autoimmune disease starts. Destroying of myelin and the nerves. So the extract, works exactly on the circulation and regeneration of the damage in the brain and on the nerves. So what's happening that through a small hole where the narrowing is the blood is trying to go through really fast, and then this is the reaction to the body that we feel worse. But it's really not. So what Rick said in the beginning, what's most important to be in your peaceful surroundings, taking peace, to have a discipline, a good quality, of course, of the extract, and a lot of sleep. That's really important for patients, any kind of patient. And that was really important for me because I had problems with sleeping. I had problems with how do you say, when you go to a toilet. It doesn't matter if you have to pee or you have to take if you, how do you say,
Take a check.
number two, I would say. Yeah, because I had really problems with that. I had to relax to pee. You know, sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes 5, sometimes even 10. And also with the number two, I mean, I had to really relax for 10 minutes to have it, you know, the way. And before the extract, I had really problems with that. I had to go to toilet maybe like 2-3 times a week. But in the extract, over the time, it regulated it to 2-3 times a day, which is really great. It's really important for MS, not only MS patients, but any kind of patient to drink water, 1.5 to 2 liters a day. It's really, really important because this is the best way to detoxify our body, and especially the sleeping part. You know, I had problems with sleeping. I would wake up during the night. That was all years before, and the extract cannabis helped me to rest and have sleep. That's the best way. This is the best way how the body detoxifies and regenerates. Sleeping part is the most important part of our lives.
And it gets you high, the oil at the beginning, or it depends on the...
To tell you the truth, in the beginning, I don't know what to expect. It was really important to me to hear that it calms me down so I can have a good sleep. But I didn't know what to expect, which kind of feeling am I going to get. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to know if this, I don't know if this is going to help me or not. You know, I only had 20 grams. But during those 20 grams, I was disappointed because I felt worse. After those 20 grams, I just got out of bed and all the spasms got erased. Like, you know, it's beautiful. And my peeing, I didn't have to relax anymore. Also, I felt a little bit positive effect on how to say, potency, erection, just a little bit at that point because I only consumed 20 grams. But those spasms, I mean, because I had really big the spasms. That's weight in our legs. When we're talking about MS patients, it can be over a couple kilos or over 10 kilograms. I don't know how many pounds, like almost over 20 pounds. You know, that's a lot of weight on your legs, and you can't move, or you can't move whatsoever without. Can get out of the bed. What happened to me in 2011? That was before extra. But once the spasm got away in that way, I had the feeling that I can fly, I can run, and that was a good enough sign for me to continue in 2012 and till now, and still going on, of course.
Now, can you talk a little bit about other patients? Because you started getting other people the oil once you started getting better?
Yes, after my first results in 2011 during the winter time, I visited my friends. I only had maybe a gram or two left, and I went to them to tell them what I have learned, what I did. I grew cannabis, I made the extract, I consumed it, as Rick Simpson said, the dosage information. And I said, well, this is it. You can see what it is. This is how it should like. And please do try because I have enormous results, which I'm really, really happy about. So many of them, they understood what I was saying. But it's really hard for some people that are disabled or that they don't have any help from their families. They cannot grow. And then we have this black or purple market, which is really, really, in a way, insane because people are buying. They have no idea what they're buying, and then it doesn't help them. And then they get disappointed. But it's really the quality is really, really important. That's why the best thing is if you want to have the quality, just the best thing is to grow.
What should people grow for to have the best quality? What kind of strains or?
Well, that's the most important questions that he asked me, the patient asked me. So I should, if I would start right now as a patient that don't know much about cannabis, I would start with the strains, like a few strains of heavy indicas, like 2 to 3 strains, 100% indicas, or indicas dominant with a lot of THC and some CBD, but also I would have few strains with much higher CBD level and lower THC level. You know? So because patients, they don't know which strain is going to be the exact for them, so they should start easily for MS, especially for MS patients or epilepsy or PTSD with high CBD strains, and then they'll see how that works for them. If they're not satisfied, they can go with high THC strains, heavy indicas, which is really important since there is the whole endocannabinoid system, CB1 and CB2 receptors, and the old cannabinoids that are in our body also produced just on a smaller level, and on CB1 receptor, which is mostly in our brain, and THC exactly binds on the CB1 receptor. THC is really important as the scientific data goes. THC can regenerate our damage in our brains because we have those lesions. Those lesions are really the holes in our brain, and they make those symptoms really, really big symptoms sometimes. You know, you can't walk, you can move your hand, you can do even this. So everything is disturbed. Even my vision got disturbed. You know, I was losing my vision and contrast. But everything came back, of course, over the time, not in one day or 1 month. It took some time.
How long?
Well, the best results came between 2012 2013. In 2012, I had a much bigger amount of cannabis in my garden, and in 2 to 3 months, since 2012 to 2013, I consumed over 100 grams of extract with high THC level, heavy indica, and the results were enormous. I could fly, my vision got back, the erection like almost totally up to 100% regenerated potency. You know, you see, I didn't have any feeling on my skin at one point. That was before the extract, but after those 100 grams, everything came back. I can feel my skin. I mean, to tell the people, I couldn't feel when I would touch. You know, I would take a shower and this line or the how do you call it? It would touch my penis. I couldn't feel it. It's all regenerated. It came back. The contrast, it came back. The vision, it's so sharp now. So I'm really satisfied. Not that I can walk. I can run marathons again. You know, and what is really important every time when I did something physical, like I would lift heavy, something heavy. So that was before the extract, before 2008. Some of the symptoms would come, like I would lose motority in my hands, or I would get spasms, or a big weight. I couldn't lift my arm, or in the left hand I couldn't write. You know, so I was kind of saving myself, you know, not doing anything physical. But after those 100 grams, you know, when I went to the woods just to walk around, but I went with some of my friends, you know, just to spend some time, but they were pulling the wood out of the woods, and I wanted to help them. So I said, you know, I need to test what I feel, and I felt great, you know. But during that week, we were in the woods. We got out of the woods around 40 cubic meters of wood. I don't know how many times it went through my hands, but none of the symptoms came back. Even the fine feeling didn't get worse, or any kind of spasms, or any kind of problem with motorics. doesn't matter in legs or in hands or I used to have symptoms like some kind of belts around my body, especially when I used to do something really physical. But after those 100 grams, unbelievable, none of the symptoms came back, especially those belts around the body. It's like you have some kind of weight, somebody put a belt and squeezed. It's unbelievable. Can't tell you now.
Let's talk a little bit about Juanito the activist, because you also started lobbying the government, getting oil to other patients.
Well, I grew cannabis in front of my house in the garden for my own purposes. That's the best. My garden has lots of sun, so I did that. The most important thing for me, why I started using cannabis, because I tried everything else before cannabis and it didn't give me the results that I expected. So I heard Rick talking in here in Opatija about cannabis, that it can help me. So let's try. I said, let's try. And then that was my purpose. I got the results and I just continued. I don't have a feeling that I'm in a fight as an activist. I'm just a patient that used some substance, we call it cannabis or hemp, and it helps. So, and I will continue using it as much as I can. A lot of patients, they contact me. They want me to sell them, but they don't realize that I really don't have. Since in 2014, I got arrested because I was planting the plants from my garden and making the oil, of course. But I give some other contacts to patients, which is really hard because we had like, if we had like a few tons over here, it would just disappear like in 15 minutes. And I cannot guarantee for any of those contacts. So I really pursue people if they have time, especially MS patients, to grow by themselves. Even though I say yes, it's not allowed by the government, but then again, who is going to tell me what I'm gonna do to help myself so I can walk and have a good quality life? Or who I am to tell you what you're gonna do, what you're going to ingest in yourself to help yourself. If you don't hurt me, that's fine by me. That's great, you know, if it helps you, right? Now we're talking about cannabis, but right of choice for anything, not only cannabis. That's the way I think as a patient. So if you're talking about our government, yeah, it's great. We have this I don't know how you're gonna call it, this rule they made in paper, but right now, as it stands, I cannot use it. I cannot get it. So still, I'm in a position as a patient that I have to suffer. Why suffer? You know. So if I have to go to prison to suffer, sure, why not? I'll be laying disabled in the bed. So when I get out, maybe somebody will give me the oil and I'll get better. That's the way I think. I also feel, I think this is now the worst prison now that I'm in, that I'm at home and I'm not allowed to use the hemp extract or the cannabis extract. So what's the difference between this jail or the jail inside? It's the same for me.
So let's go back a little bit to the government and their laws. What would happen, or what happened when the government finds somebody that is cultivating marijuana?
Well, right now what's happening? The government sends the police. The police they do their job. So they take your plants, they take material, and they take your even oil. I think this is completely wrong. Because we have police officers, they have cancer, they're buying on the black market or on the purple market the extract to help themselves. And now he or she is coming to my house, I have my own piece where I'm trying to heal myself, and it's taking the medicine away from me. I think that's really wrong, because the same people, maybe they know somebody or they have somebody in the family that they have the need to consume cannabis, or they heard now it's a medicine. Now yesterday was poison, today is a medicine. You know, so thankfully to our scientists, especially Professor Dr. Andrei Lamir Hanushi in Israel and Professor Rafael Michelon And then we have in Canada, we're coming from Professor Dr. Paul Hornby, and in US, Dr. Robert Melamed, and so on. There is hundreds of scientists, and thankfully to them, I'm really thankful that they exist, so we can understand, which was really important for me in the beginning. I didn't understand why hemp or cannabis helps me. So that's where the role of scientists came in, to explain us and to confirm, yes, cannabis is a food and medicine, you know, like Hippocrates said. So we have this endocannabinoid system, and our body is producing the cannabinoids. So hemp or cannabis is in us. That's why hemp helps us, or cannabis. That's really important to know, and thankfully to our good friend scientists, that's beautiful to know. So there is nothing to fear of hemp or cannabis. It's really it's our friend. It's in us. We cannot run away from hemp or cannabis. That's the beautiful part.
And now, once the police take away the plants, do they put the patients in jail?
Well, well, there is different cases. I don't know how to explain that, but some patients they put in prison, and some they don't. Now, in the last let's say year, more or less they don't. But some people call me. I just got out of prison on bail. They took my plants, and now I don't know what to do. And there is a patients they just took their plants or the oil, and they didn't go to jail. So I don't know what to tell you. For example, in 2014, that was in October, I was arrested. So the police came to my house. They were really nice to me, but they took all my material. I had like 11 strains, good quality strains, if not the best in Europe. And that was really important to me to find out which strain or which strains, if we mix them as the extracts, will help me the best. That's really important for me to know, you know, because the heavy indica helped me, yes, but you see, I have really old symptoms like this fine feeling and the numbness in my feet. I got better during the consumption of the extract during that time, but I wanted to get faster, better results. So that's why I had 11 strains. I really listened good to Rick Simpson and to the Lamir and Paul Hornby. I mean, they're great people. They really educated me through their seminars and their knowledge and experience, which is really important for MS patients. Not only MS patients, but any kind of patients, to know what's happening, what is hemp or cannabis, and why does it and how does it help us. The education is really important.
There's a new government in Croatia. What do you think is going to happen? Are they going to,
like I said, I don't know what they think. You know, myself as a patient is simple. If I'm bad, I want to use something. Doesn't matter if I'm gonna eat or put on my body. I don't know what to do. Actually, whatever to help myself. Our government is they're going to do whatever they think is good for all of us. But if we think this way, what is going to be? Because the best for me if I grow the plants. There is 6 associations that we got together, and we gave a proposal to our government that every patient may grow for himself or herself up to 9 plants. That makes sense, you know, because okay, now our government is talking that we have this I don't know how to say in English exactly, but okay, it's a governmental office that they usually deal with medicine and blood and patients and so on. And something like health minister, yeah, it's a special part of it. And the plan is to import the cannabis flower or hemp, and then from that to make the extract, and this extract will go to pharmacies, and then us patients are going to buy or extract, or I don't know if we're going to be allowed to buy the flower by itself. But if we are talking, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the extract or the flower, cannabis flower by itself. I'm always thinking about the best quality. What is going to be? Because it's okay, and who's going to pay? How much is going to cost? Because we are patients, we cannot work, or if it's too expensive, then we cannot afford. Because if we need huge amounts of extract or medication, and what doesn't matter which way, then how much this is going to cost? 100 euro, 1,000 euro, 10,000 euro, 100,000 euro? Because if I'm going to use over a longer period of time, like for example, I ate more than half a kilo of cannabis extract over over 4 years actually. So how much does it cost? But the best thing, the most important thing is the first thing is the quality, and then the cost. You see, we are a social country. Our health system for us is, we can say almost it's free. There is some things we have to pay, but I think cannabis should be free. I mean, we don't have to import the cannabis from Canada or from Netherlands. We have a great climate. I think it's in the top 5 places in the world, the climate we have in Croatia. We can grow a good quality cannabis. So there is no need to import it, and then the price also it comes down. Now we have a problem also. Who is going to prescribe? As the rules they say right now, it's written down that so we have 4 diagnoses, like I said before: cancer, multiple sclerosis, HIV, and epilepsy. So the doctor can prescribe it, the specialist, but they have to also write down the dosage information. The way I see this, I please call, or I please really our doctors, I ask them nicely to educate themselves about cannabis and our endocannabinoid system in us, which we cannot run away from it, and so they could really help us. But at the end, there is no doctor or scientist in the world who can tell me which strain of cannabis or extract is going to help me, and what is going to be the dosage for me, or more strains. We don't know that. I will know that when I consume it. I will let you know then. But for the beginning, the dosage shouldn't be a problem even for a doctor. We can start with a smaller amounts, but then at the end I'll say what strain is the best for me. There is no
still experimental.
Yeah, but you see, we can talk like this. How much water can you drink? How much food can you eat? You can eat as much as you can eat. That's about it. You can drink water as much as you can. It's same with cannabis. It's food and the medicine. It's proven scientifically. Over 150,000 studies are done, and every week more than 100 studies are here to confirm all this. This is the most researched plant in the world. It's used for more than 10,000 years, and nobody died from it. It cannot do you any bad. I guarantee you with my life, it can do you only good. There is a probably strain that's good for me, but for you less, and for the third person can be more better than for myself. It's a beautiful thing, but it will not unhelp you in any kind of way. If you inhale it or smoke, or if you use it orally, or you use it topically, so it's good for the wounds, for a third degree, or I don't know which degree of burnings.